Okay, welcome back to another episode of The Hot Seat, a sheer therapy podcast. Pam here.
Dan.
Oh, whoops. See, we always do this. I think it's because of the Dan Den thing.
I was trying to catch it quickly because I knew one of us would do the dance.
You know what? I'm going to beat you next time. You
That's
go.
it.
Take it.
No, but she already introduced herself. It's your turn, Denise.
Oh, yeah. Den.
God. And this is a great segue into the title of this episode, which is basically don't ditch after you get hitched. And it's all about the importance of keeping friendships outside of just being a wife. So, and this can I think go along with any relationship, but there is like this stigma sometimes with some people where it's like, nope, I'm married and that's all I need. Just my husband and me. Nobody else. We just need each other. And
I don't like people like that, eh?
Yeah.
That's so stupid.
Yeah.
If you are like that, they don't like you. They don't check for you.
La-
No, just kidding. But just listen to our episode first, okay? Listen to our episode first, and then we will check.
Yeah. So like, again, coming from the perspective of like, this is the great thing about this is there's three of us. You can get three different perspectives, or sometimes they're the same, but three different like life, like whatever you want to call it, like spaces in our life. I'm married currently, raising two young kids. Then there's Denise, who's divorced, co-parenting a almost 13-year-old. And then we have Danielle, who, she is just waiting for Mr. Prince Charming. He's on his way around the corner
He
with his
is on
horse.
his way, and I don't care. People say it's a fantasy. I don't care.
I saw him down the street at driving up Eglinton.
That's what I'm saying. He's circling around me. I just
He's
need
right
to, like,
around the corner.
Yeah.
Anyway,
He's there.
go on.
She's manifesting, but like, there's so many ways we can look at this. Like, okay, so Dan as an outsider, as you guys said in I think our intro episode, but said something about oh, Pam is like, even when she got married, it was still like she was a girl's girl. I can't remember how you said it, but it was like
nothing's changed since you got married.
Yes.
When like your friend or your family or someone close to you gets married and you're like, ah, shit, there they go.
Yeah.
They're gone. I'll see them at Christmas. But I feel like with Pam, it's like funny, like nothing's changed. Like nothing's changed. We can hang out whenever, take trips whenever. Maybe that's a good marriage to be in. That you guys both have your own lives, but you also are married, but you can see your own thing.
Yeah, like to me, I think friendship is huge because again, it goes back to like, well, I can talk to like my husband about anything. No, like you can't. If you want to talk about like, I don't know, period cramps from hell and oh, I'm so gassy tonight, or like, oh, I think something's changing down there. Like, whatever, if you think that you can talk to your husband about all those things and you can, that's fine. But sometimes like that's not the person you need to talk to about that, and it's like, even to say like, yes, you have your phone friends, we only really talk on the phone. And if we see each other, it's in a group. But like, there is something with the intimacy of having your girlfriends sitting on a couch, vegging out, drinking wine, talking smack, that is just different from doing that with your husband. And I think it is very vital and healthy because sometimes you need to just get away and come back and just have that space with your girls. And it's very healthy. Like it's very healthy. And I don't know, Denise.
Denise, can I ask you something?
Yes.
Oh shoot, it just left. Spinning off of that though, you know how you were saying, and Denise, you can answer this. It's funny because like Pam's saying like you can't talk to your spouse about everything, like even though that's your spouse, there's just certain things no. But the funny thing is, I find with my married peeps, I just assume everything I tell them, their spouse is getting the earful at night when you're laying in bed together. So you may not be talking to your spouse about your stuff, but
Yeah,
like just for the sake of convo laying in bed at night, you're damn well telling him about how my day went
yeah, they are. They
or
are
my crazy
100%.
date story or something
Pillow
like that.
talk. It's pillow
Yeah,
talk. Pillow
yeah,
talk.
they are 100%. They are.
Can
Yeah.
you
And
elaborate on that?
guys, if you can see Denise again, I swear to God, when we go to video, this girl's in Schitt's Creek without a paddle. We will be here recording this podcast for you, and the girl is like doing the robot in the background, doing what do you call those fingers? Music fingers, jazz hands. She's doing jazz. Like, Denise, are you here? This is why
I
I'm
can't
here.
work for
I'm
me.
I'm
here,
gonna.
but what I'm doing is I'm trying, like, I'm getting the energy flowing because right now, like, I'm in like a office desk dead mode. So I'm trying to get like energetic, and I'm trying to get
And
woo.
that's why you need your girlfriends. And you know what, guys? This is gonna be my pillow talk tonight to Kevin. Friggin' Denise, every time we're recording, she's doing jazz hands. Pillow talk. And that, but yeah, are you ready to elaborate, Denise, or would you like us to give you 10 more minutes?
Um,
I love you.
Imagine I started, I think, yeah, I'm gonna take a little 10 more minutes. No, it's really true. Like, yeah, that is pillow talk is like a must. And anybody that's married that says they don't do that, they're liars. They're
Yeah.
liars. But
Yeah, like
mine was the total opposite. When I got married, I thought you had to dedicate yourself 100% to your spouse, and I like started cutting my life, cutting my life for my child and my husband. And that was the worst thing I could have ever done. The worst. Because then when he has his life and he's like, then you look at him and you're like, well, you're so selfish. I'm cutting my life for you and you're not cutting for me. Well, sister girl, I never told you to do that. So when he's out partying and he's having fun with his friends and family, I'm sitting there left with the bag in my hand on the couch with nothing to do.
Is it more times the man's expecting that, or as a woman, as a nurturer, you naturally just are like, no, I got to deal with home all the time and forget everything else about me?
I think what it is it's not it. I think naturally, as a nurturer, like women tend to do that, but also I think it's what you grew up seeing. So I grew up watching my mom dedicating herself 120% to our home. So like she'd have friends, but it was like, okay, one day a week, maybe one day a month, they would get me like the nanny or something and hire somebody, put me there because they knew like that's just my one day with my friends. But other than that, like 95% of the time, it's just 100% dedicated to your family. That's what I grew up seeing. So I thought, oh yeah, I thought going into marriage, like I didn't have an identity for myself. I just thought you copy, like marriage just means you copy what you see. So like I copied and redid everything my mom did, but then I realized, yeah, that may work for her, but it doesn't work for me.
yeah. And
And did
like
you and Kevin talk about how it was going to be when you guys got married, or did it naturally just flow that you two gave each other space?
well, for all those listening, I just like to let you know that I followed the Steve Harvey manual all the way through to my marriage. Act like a lady, think like a man. And I had many conversations with Kevin in like 2 months of dating. And y'all heifers used to be like, oh my God, you're going to scare him off.
I mean, it
Told
sounded
him.
annoying at first. She'd go to the one chapter and she'd be like, okay, the book says to do this. I'm doing this. And then 5 minutes later, she'd be like, so Kevin,
Yeah.
I need to know the circumference of the ring and it needs to be in 7 days according to the book. And I'm like, holy shit.
No, but like I think the good thing is, for all of you guys don't know, and this will be in an upcoming podcast called When a Booty Call Turns into Love. We didn't have any vision that we were going to be together. I actually really detested Kevin. But it actually just happened naturally. And, but we would be hanging out and we'd be having conversation. So he, like I said before, and another thing is he heard about my whole past, and even some of the current things that were going on. So we had many conversations. And so that was the good thing that opened up, I guess, the communication pathway, is that when we started to get a little bit more serious and drew out what that vision looked like, because Steve Harvey said you need to put what your morals and values are right ahead the gate. And it was, I never had a model of marriage to watch. Like my parents split like literally in the delivery room when I was born. So it's like, or maybe a bit after, I'm not quite sure. But I could watch marriage on TV, and I seen like cousins' marriages, like my aunts and uncles or other people's, but I didn't have one in the house all the time, right? But I just thought like my mom had girlfriends, or like she spent a lot of time with us, but I thought, okay, we need to have conversation about what our future would look like. And it was very apparent in the beginning. Like Kevin was like, I have friends and I'm still going to like have my friend group and take a boys trip once a year. And we actually spoke. We said like one big trip a year, one weekend trip. Like you have to define it, right? Because what is a trip? Does that mean you're going to Fiji for 2 weeks? Like, or could you combine it? And to this day, like you have to reconnect and go back to have the same conversations. But like from the beginning of dating him, you guys were there almost at like every other date. Like if we were going to a party, you guys were there. If we were going to a barbecue, you guys were there. Always pack up in the backseat of his Jeep. Like I told him like these are my friends and they are my rib cages. Like they're a part of my body.
So third wheel, call it what it is. Let's
Yeah.
just call it what it is.
Yeah. Like why are you laughing, Denise?
Which is made me laugh.
What?
Remember when you guys were just dating and we went and we got high and we went we walked through the tall grass at Wildwater Kingdom.
Yes.
We were acting like so spaced out, and him and his brother were looking at us like a bunch of jackasses.
Yeah. So if that's those of you who don't
Was that in the Steve Harvey book, Pam?
you know,
Getting high?
I love my brother-in-law, Terry. Big up if you're listening. And you know,
We can't use names.
I can use a name. Hi Terry, we love you. He is a Rastaman. Rasta life.
Disclaimer for any residuals from this podcast.
Drink, it's like the way I drink tea, that's his tea. And so we were out one day and we decided, me and Denise, like, hey, yeah, like come on, we haven't done it in like 10 years, but let's try some. They had to like basically pick us up, put us in the car, bring us to eat. And God love Kevin, he hasn't changed. I know, I actually am reminding myself right this, he's never changed, because he was like, I had to babysit you and your idiot friends. And I'm like,
rude.
Yep. He says the same thing to this day though, right? But even as tough as he can be, I know you guys know in your heart, like he truly loves you guys, because Kevin don't like many people to come around. And he, you know what the thing is, when we were talking about like the Holly Furtick book, the type of like angers, Kevin, like he's not a surprise. If he don't like you, like you're gonna know. Like, and if he's upset about you with something, especially because you're close friends, like he's gonna tell you. Like he'll tell Denise, don't bring your long hand in my house and take my drinks.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
like,
we're always gonna take his drinks.
Yeah, you are.
And his snacks.
Hey Kev. But back to, we've gone on a bunny trail, but back to that, it's like he accepts you guys, I accept his friends, and if there's ever a big occasion or something, I used to look at this as, you know, sometimes you talk to people and they can influence like, no, you guys should be together, and then you start to question, oh, do we have too many people around? But honestly, this year has taught me, like, everybody has their own journey, but we just like, I love people, and I see the people around him who mean something to him. And if there's ever a birthday or an occasion, I include those people because I feel like they are one with us. Like you guys are not just my friends, like you're the biggest supporters. If I'm going through something with Kevin, Denise is always like on Kevin's side, like honestly, like 65% of the time. And she'll just tell me that she'll call me out on my BS. Danielle, she's a little bit more empathetic to me, maybe because our wombs were so close at an early age. But then she'll just be like, okay, well, I love Kevin. and that's it. But
I mean,
like,
you're not perfect, but obviously
yeah.
I can't sit and gripe about you to you every single time you and him have a disagreement. Denise can do that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
I'll
did.
do that.
Yeah. But like, that's another reason why you should have your friends. And I see the aftermath of older couples who are more mature and seasoned in their marriages who did cut off. And it's not even cut off, but like you just didn't make girl time a priority anymore. And they are kind of paying the price for it now. Like they are in a hole where they have nobody to talk to really because they didn't maintain a girl group. Like you need to have your girls. Like
Yeah.
you need to have your girls. It's a different shoulder to cry on, it's a different ear to talk to, and it's a different perspective. So like you can't just think, "Oh, I'm married. It's all about my family." Of course it is. But like you're telling me you can't carve out a Friday to go dip some calamari in a dip and sip some wine and laugh. Like to me that's just ridiculous. And but to each his own, right? But I don't think you should ditch after you get hitched. 100%.
Yeah, and like
Really,
I think when I was younger, I think we all fell into that. Like when you're younger, you're kind of just like so caught up in your like love affairs. And I think at the beginning of dating too, like you do put a lot of time into that person because that's how you get to know them and figure out. So yeah, like I'm saying, I get that there's like pockets of time where that might be. And I would never like be bitter if one of my married friends, like if I don't hear from you all the time or if I only see you, that's fine. I'm just saying some people like literally disappear.
Yeah.
And I think that's what like my next relationship, I want to invest time in that person. So I don't know if I would be available every single day at the beginning, but definitely now that I'm older, it's the awareness of like, nope, you have to have a balance. That's healthy. Like I would never want to be consumed with one person. That's a lot of pressure too. Like one person to keep you entertained day in and day out for 50 years. Some couples do that.
Denise, why are you laughing?
because I'm thinking to myself, rest assured, Danielle's like, I don't know if I can like when I'm with my husband, if I can be around my friends like every day. I'm like in my head, rest assured, I keep hearing my phone ring every morning.
Sorry, I call Denise every morning, usually at about 8:15 or 8 a.m. while I walk the dog, or 8:30 after the kids are online. But sometimes we just sit and like, I don't even know what we talk about half the time.
I don't even know. Don't even know. But I always tell people, like, take me now. Take
Because
me
when
now.
my husband comes,
Because when husband number two
I
comes.
have, but see, can I ask you, why are you premeditating that you're going to be available when your husband comes? Like now you're going back into the trap that you said you did with your first marriage.
I know. You know what? That's what I have to work on for myself, self-admittedly. I'm a very like I'm a Libra and I have the scales and I'm a very unbalanced. I don't have, it's very hard for me to be
we
balanced.
know
So
about the Libras.
Like you said in
Like,
your
I
last
go-
marriage, the mistake you made was giving up your life. And now you're pre-telling us that
well, I'm
you're
not going
gonna
to give it
be
up like that. I'm not going to give it up like that, but it's like, I mean,
You know what?
instead of like 7 days a week of accessibility, you may have me 5 days a week of accessibility.
You know what? I'm gonna break this down right now, just before we end this. Maybe this isn't about that, and maybe this is deeper for Denise, and it's in her ego. So maybe Denise, look into my eyes. Maybe Denise thinks that people think, oh, doesn't Denise have anything else to do? But so she keeps saying, don't worry, guys, I won't be around. Like she thinks we're worried. She's around too much. So she's like, because
No.
you see how she says it though? Don't worry. When my husband number 2 comes around, blah, blah, blah. So take me now. But nobody's worried.
Oh, you know what? That's creative. I never thought of it that way because I mean, everybody knows, like when your sister gave me a birthday card, like I'll always be on your couch. So, and I have no shame in that.
I'll be
I have
back
no
on the couch shortly after the second dose.
I have no shame in that. I'll always be on that couch. And you know what? I'm trying to get to the good old couch of your father-in-law and your mother-in-law too. Trying to fly over there and get to that couch too to party. So
Oh,
I
in
hear it's great over
Florida?
there. So I'll be everywhere. Yep.
Trust me, when COVID life is done, we're all going to Ocala. Big up Richards, Guyana, GT. Anyways, so if you take anything away today, honestly, it's just try to reevaluate and also think like only looking to just your spouse for everything in life, you're really putting a lot of pressure on them to fulfill all of your needs. Like maybe if you feel like that loneliness and longing, it's because it's something you need to fill and not the other person. And you can fill it with girlfriends, girl time. Like everybody, like, oh, I'll take a nature walk. I have time. No, like sometimes you just need your girlfriends. And that's it.
That's true.
And I'm not giving mine up.
And on a side note, to tie into that,
Yeah.
also is that when you also put all your eggs into your spouse, I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer, but like what's gonna happen if your spouse ever got sick or left you? You're left with zero. And then you
Yeah.
have to start all over again.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that was it. If you have any questions or feedback on that, check us out on Instagram at Share Therapy or send us an email, info@sharetherapy.co. And if you want to like have a friend in us, we're here.
I can be your friend.
You know what?
Where's your couch?
All right. Well, we'll see you next week. And toodaloo. Bye.
Toots.
Bye.